call the regular school board meeting to order. All board members are present. We can do our pledge.
Please rise for the pledge of allegiance. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please remain standing. Dear Heavenly Father, bless us tonight as we go and try to make wise decisions for our school as we go forward. Thanks for the people that are here, administration, staff, and newspapers, and all. If there's any students, bless them and be with our schools as we go forward this year. Keep everybody safe as we go through the semester. In thy name we pray. Amen.
Y'all, before we sit, I just say it and thank to the board member. I would like us to stand for a moment and offer a moment of silence for Mr. Rory McCool. All right, thank you, Mom. We did.
I get an approval of the agenda.
So moved. Second.
I have a motion by George Evans, seconded by Richard Bond, to approve the agenda as printed. All in favor? Any opposed? Ayes have it. Motion carried. Kevin, update?
We got any public participation?
Oh, I'm sorry. Public participation.
We do. I have the list already in my hand. The first one, unfortunately, my reading is bad. The writing is not that great, but it's Kendall
Kern.
Yes. Research, I believe they were Delta State.
Yes. Hello all.
Hi.
Hi. My name is Kendall Kern, and I'm a graduate student at Delta State University in the Counselor Education Program. And I am currently working under the direction of Dr. Todd Davis and Dr. Murray Vestpanel, conducting a research project all about the impact that adventure therapy interventions have on at-risk rural youth self-concept. So self-concept is all about the way that kids feel about themselves and how they feel about other people. And so what we are proposing is that if you would allow us, we will work in collaboration with the district's school counselors, and we would find a group of kids. One group would take a short assessment about self-concept, and then our other group would also take that short assessment, but they would be involved in a big, exciting adventure therapy intervention where we would get to go hiking and canoeing or kayaking and go on nature walks and do group therapy interventions, all to help their self-concept. Research shows that adventure therapy interventions help self-concept, especially in their academic performance, in their peer connections, and in their behavioral adjustment. And we believe that Cleveland Central School District would be a wonderful place to do this, because I know that all of the kids would love to experience something novel and something that we know would help them. So that is our proposal. Do y'all have any questions?
Do we need that as an item on the agenda? Insurance?
What you're gonna have is this has come up behind the board's radar. We've been talking with Dr. Davis as well, but I did the Dr. Bermucci. And so we recommended that it would be good if they would come speak to y'all. Part of the proposal is already with Dr. Bermucci, but there were some issues about liability that we thought it would be best for them to come here, explain the situation to y'all. We are addressing the liability issues behind the scenes, and so if you guys, and I say y'all, everybody, the board, the teachers, the counselors, and the board, are good with it, we are going to be working with Delta State IHL to get the liability issues addressed.
So she's not here tonight for permission, you're just telling us about the program.
We're here to just ask permission to explore this further with the school district and with Dr. Bermucci and, of course, your attorney and counselors, because one of the situations with children and liability is that if a parent signs off, they want to participate in this research project based on the counselor's discretion, then the students would then become part of Delta State's responsibility, just like we do for Okra Camp or for outdoor experiences. But we do want permission from you tonight to at least to explore this and look further at, and meet with the counselors and have that opportunity to do that, so.
What grade level?
Great question.
So we are thinking that we would do a 9th or 10th grade level. Yes.
That way, so we can hopefully follow up as they matriculate through and move on to other grades.
Let them work with the superintendent, then I'll bring it back to us.
Sir?
Let them work with the superintendent, superintendent.
Thank you all
Thank you.
so
Don't
much.
have permission, you know, work with the superintendent.
Yes, sir, appreciate it.
Do you want to talk some more about it?
No, I just want to, I'm on my own.
Fantastic. Our second person is then Dr. Todd Davis.
Good evening. First of all, I'm here because I just want to say thank you. Thank you to, this is National Board Appreciation Week, and I just thought it would be appropriate. I've come here many times, right, and then spoke and advocated in a variety of different ways, but I don't know if I've ever come here to say thank you.
All right.
And, okay, I see people, you know, I see George around town, and I just want to make sure that we are aware that we do thank and appreciate our board members, very much so. And I want to tell you a couple things I'm thankful for. I even wrote them down. Okay. I want to tell you that it's been really great to see a lot of you out at the events. I don't know if you realize this, but I know as community members and people who are invested in our school district, it is really great to see you at different events that our school district has to offer. So it was great seeing, you know, Ms. Paulette at the preview night, and I've seen Dr. Fionelli at different places, and I think that's important for you to know that we do see you, and we thank you for being out there. I also want to tell you that the career development in Tech Center right now is absolutely killing it. I mean, their marketing and where they're doing, it's just really good. It's a great success. And I think that the stories that they're sharing with the community is just vibrant and dynamic. There's several people who have said thank you to that, so I hope that we keep that up. I wanted to tell you too that this new forum that we have a friends and supporter Facebook page. It's no longer a page that we are advocating for change. We're here to support the school district, support our board members, our principals, faculty, and staff with new ideas, you know, and just in more positive ways. So I wanted to update you on that. I also want to say that it's been really great working with Dr. Bermucci. She has developed a parent-teacher-student president advisory council. We've met twice, or once now. We'll meet again next week. That has been a really great wedge for parents that are invested in our schools to communicate with the superintendent and just have some great two-way conversation. And it was really good. Last week we met with your assistant superintendent and federal programs director, and they kind of updated all the parent leaders that are at the schools currently as presidents to bring information back to the school. And we did bring it back to Bell Academy last week when we met, and I think parents really appreciated that, having some input and having some perspective of what the admin's doing. I also want to say that it's been really great having Dr. Ramucci here. She's extremely approachable, very responsive. She's very empathetic to our school district's needs. She takes huge responsibilities. She's very proactive. You know, it's just been really great, and she's really been a superior leader for our district, and it's been noticed. So I want to say thank you to her too, even though it's your week. I also want to update you and let you know that the middle school preview night was an absolute success. Your leadership over there, the changes that you made over there have been absolutely already monumental and has shown some significant pride, and I just want to let you know that we are seeing you and we are hearing you and we appreciate you being here. So,
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's it. Now you got cabinet up.
All right, I'm gonna start by saying again, we thank you to the school board members, and you had nice little happies from the schools there. I wanna start with our teacher of the year. If she will come forward. I'm trying to take this plastic off, and I'm not going to do it. You are the Cleveland School District Teacher of the Year for 2023.
All right.
All right.
We're very
our district administrator of the year, Mrs. Precious Redmond. Just like, oh, come on.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you.
Also, I don't know if these are, okay. Parks Elementary, if you'll come forward, we received some preps value added. They got the award for fifth grade math and ELA. Fifth grade math, fifth grade ELA achievement, fourth grade math achievement. Hold on. Very good. D.M. Smith Elementary. Not here? Oh, okay. D.M. Smith got sixth grade math achievement award, fifth grade ELA achievement award. All right. Bell Academy. Hold on. Make sure one's not stuck. Nope. We're missing one. No, it's, all right, we'll go ahead and do you, and I'm missing one. Bell Academy got, let me just hold them together. We have sixth grade math achievement, fifth grade math achievement, fifth grade ELA, and fourth grade math.
All right.
Here, oh, in third grade. I know. Miss
Y'all don't
Massey,
have any stuff with y'all?
make sure nobody's got stuck, because there's one for, Hayes Cooper got third grade ELA. Let's just take a picture with one.
Okay.
We'll get it to you. Okay. Then I'm like,
Here you go.
okay,
Oh,
where
here it is.
Oh, there it is.
There it is.
Hold on, let's do the real thing. Okay, sorry. Third grade ELA achievement. Okay. All right. Pearman. Pearman got the fifth grade math achievement award.
All right.
The pressure show. Thank you. And, okay. D.M. Smith is not here. Did I read them out to y'all? Because I do want to give them credit. Did I? Did I? Sixth grade math, fifth grade math, fifth grade ELA, and third grade math. Very good. Okay. February 16th, I want to remind you of the community presentation on drug prevention at the BPAC at 6 o'clock for all community members. That'll be on the 16th. That day, they'll do a presentation at the middle school and the high school, and then a parent meeting that night. We still are in the process of tomorrow, I think at 10, we have our second viewing of the Educational Facilities Revolving Loan Program. That $1 million zero interest loan, and we're looking at replacing the windows at the middle school and high school. That's something that we're looking at. So we have our second webinar tomorrow with them. My leadership team during this past month has conducted meetings with every school administrator to plan for the 23-24 year with title funds, with what's working, what's not. So we've conducted all those meetings, had some really good conversations. Business manager was involved. So we had some really good meetings. As Dr. Davis said, our first PTO president meeting was January 26th, and our second one will be February 23rd at 6 o'clock. One of the things I want to shout out was our teacher ADA for the month of January was excellent at 96%. Student ADA was at 92.89, which is lower than the district average that we want to reach is at least 95%. We have begun discussions to talk about, what can we do to encourage better attendance? And so, we're still in the process. I sent out an email to everybody in the district saying we welcome all ideas. And I had somebody reach out to me this weekend saying they had some ideas of something they wanted to do, so I'm waiting to hear back from them as well. February 9th, the preview at the middle school.
On the student 88,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we have a problem at the high school,
Mm-hmm.
87%.
Right,
And we've got 3 schools in the district that are at or above the board stated
right,
attendance.
right,
And that's at 95%.
right.
That's Hayes Cooper, DM, and Bell.
Correct.
What are they doing differently to get the kids to school versus our other elementaries? And our junior high is not much better at 91.
Right.
But the high school, we got a problem.
We do. We've addressed it. We've talked about it, and we're looking at different ways to make it better, but
227 days missed, in the 9th grade, 215 days missed in 10th grade. Gets better, 12th grade actually does better.
yep,
You think it's the seniors that wouldn't,
right. I know.
younger.
We were having, because we get that every day, we get the email from school status, and it was over 100 kids a day absent. So we've had discussions and we've got it down to where we're in 2 digits now, so that's one success, which is not a big success, but it is progress. So we're talking about different ways and things we can do to motivate students to want to be in school. So it's just gonna take a minute.
Contacting parents.
Yes, yes.
Teachers are doing that on a daily basis.
And what happens is, I think a lot of people have that, they were doing so many of the robocalls, they're blocked. And, somebody put a post out recently that says, unblock us, because we had bad weather, and they're like, you're gonna miss the call about whether we have school or not. So, I think they had overdone it before using that too much, so we're trying to encourage people to unblock us and let you know. So, that's another conversation for another day. But that is something we talk
And this is
about.
kids that just aren't coming to school. This ain't the kids that come one period, skip the second period. Because once they're there, they're counted.
Not at the high school,
Not at the high
because it's the
school.
60, they take attendance every
So in other
period.
words, if that kid skips third period, he's counted as an absent, or target, or absent that day.
For that period, but he's got 63% of the day to be in attendance.
We just got to press the principals that they have to get their plan and stay with their plan. They got a call.
Yeah. Also, March the 9th, the MAEP meeting that Parents Campaign is gonna do at the auditorium is available. I think that's about all I have. I think I emailed you, not emailed you, put in there I just got a reading to read progress report, and we have 91 students in that intervention we're doing at DM Smith. And so we are having great success with that reading to read program at DM Smith, and I can't wait to see how it translates into test scores. And I believe that's all I have. Mr.
Ms. Poole? All right. Good evening, board members. Again, thank you for your service to Cleveland School District. It's a great week to appreciate you. Business department updates. The district maintenance bank account for the month of December 2022 has been fully reconciled. So the district's fund balance as of December 2022 is $13,254,033. The total amount of expenditures for December 22 was $2,210,000. $2,210 and 100. What am I saying? 2,210. Sorry. The amount of revenue was $1,646,000. The food service bank account for the month of December 22 has also been fully reconciled. And so the food service fund balance is $1,439,730. The total amount of expenditures for December 22 was $225,941. The amount of revenue for December 2022 was $218,509. We have successfully closed on the master lease for 2023. It was $3,876,000. So we are now able to request funds as they are expended. All W-2s and 1094s and 5Cs were issued on January 26, 2022, and all 1099s were issued by January 30th, 2023. I'm still in 2022.
So
Yeah.
that can be corrected in a minute.
Yeah, I'll fix that, no problem. And the amended budget, I don't know if you want me to discuss that at this time. It's up for approval on it's a line item on
Well, let's do it on the line item.
Right.
I think
okay, sounds good.
we just go through it there.
And that's all the updates that I have.
Thank you. Federal program?
I think you all should have an update for me in the board package, with some updates, but I can go through them if y'all need to. Alright, the first one is, after we had the school level principal meetings, regarding the budget, we did have, some revisions that are taking place right now. The revision process should be finished sometime this week, to reallocate those funds based on need, according to the data from what the principals mentioned. Also, ESSA 2 and ESSA 3 revisions, just waiting on MDE to finalize and click off on those. They're halfway through the approval process. They have multiple layers to be approved. Also, the district received a homeless ARP grant from the State Department with some of the ESSA funds in the amount of $93,858.
What constitutes a child as being homeless?
They don't have a fixed nighttime residence.
So, because at one time there was discussion of, like if they were living with a relative,
Migrant worker.
Right.
they're considered homeless.
Yep.
And the allocation comes from numbers back during the pandemic, back in 2020. So I went in the archive and Sam, and we had 101 students that were sent to the State Department. That's why we have such a large allocation. And then we were meeting the other day, and I looked at the report. We only have maybe 18. So,
They're considered homeless
yes, sir.
now in our district.
Right, because the way it works, if you're classified homeless in August and you do find a permanent place of residence, you have to be, you listed there all year. And so, that may not be an accurate number right now, but due to that law, we have to keep them as homeless the whole year. Yeah. And that application was submitted yesterday. Ms. Fuller and I submitted it yesterday. HQIM grant, we did get approval yesterday, for year one reimbursement, which was $471,417.64. These were the books that were purchased last year. I think the My View, My Perspective, and Envision, like the ELA and the reading books that the district purchased for, I think, 3 years. So, it was a process, but we had to send enough documentation to get that reimbursement, so the district will get reimbursed for that purchase. Also, a waiver, we applied for a waiver by not meeting carryover from FY '22. MDE said that we were $28,000 short, but we could do a request for a waiver. So we submitted the waiver last week and haven't heard anything back from them on that one. Before the month's over with, I'll be sending out the comprehensive needs assessment for this school year. I've already talked with the vendor. I'm waiting on the second quote, so I can bring that to y'all, let y'all know when it's gonna be out, so we can kind of generate enough support so we can have an accurate indication of, from the parents, community members, the teachers, and the students also as far as their needs, desires, and concerns about what's going on in school. Last one is equitable service. That's the money we give to Bio and PDS. I did meet with Bio Friday about their budget that they currently have. I've been reaching out to the other private schools and have not gotten in contact with them, email, so I'm pretty sure I may just have to just go there. Since we in town, just may have to go there, but Equitable Services has started for the upcoming year, where they did express their intent to want to participate next year to receive federal dollars. And that's it.
All right, thank you. District Operations, Mr. Johnson.
Yes, good evening. We have Mr. Gary Bailey and Ms. Legia Hodge here. They're going to share updates as it concerns to our ESSA projects tonight.
You notice that I bring somebody smarter than me to talk to you. That would be Lucia. Come on, Lucia. I first just want to say thank you for letting us be involved in the district. It's always great to be in Cleveland, and especially great to see Reggie Barnes again. As y'all know, we can all tell stories together. As y'all will know, there's a lot going on in your buildings, construction-wise, and with multiple projects and with multiple ESSER funding, and some of it's ongoing, some of it's still got to go on. There's a lot that's we're just now starting, so it's been very busy. Lucia's done a summary that we're gonna hand out, and she's gonna give you a brief overview of it. Getting Lucia to do anything brief is always a challenge. But as we go through, if there's any questions y'all have on the work that's ongoing right now, we want to make sure we answer them and keep you in the know. I can tell you one of the things that we're doing that Dr. Bermucci suggested is doing a summary of the work that's planned at each school and put that out with information so we can check it off as things are done and make sure people know what's planning to be done, what's being done, and what has been done. So that's all in the interest of communication. So, Lucia, be brief.
I will.
That's never the case, I'm sorry.
Never give a preacher the mic. Good evening, and thank you, and congratulations on recognition.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, man.
I'm gonna give you my recognition next week. Okay, you all have 3 projects. We have 3 projects in the district, okay? One of your projects is ESSER 2, the second one is ESSER 3, and the third one is re-roofing Cypress school building, all right? One of the things I want to do is just give you a quick update on ESSER 2. Right now, the split units have been installed. Right now, we're waiting on the package units, and those units should be in towards the end of the week this week, which is tomorrow, Friday, and I'm saying Monday. So hopefully, we should have those package units for the remainder of ESSER 2. They're also pouring those pads for that. So the manufacturers have released that, and so hopefully everything should go well in doing that. And that's on ESSER 2. On ESSER 3, we have, and let me just tell you, Upchurch Plumbing is your contractor, so if you want to know who's doing that. On ESSER 3, Sullivan Enterprises is the contractor. Right now, we will be starting at the middle school. The middle school will be starting doing the demolition of the toilets. So there will be some toilets that will not be in use, and what we're doing is, we're planning just to take one set, meaning whatever set that we have decided to do that, and then the other part of the building, they'll still have access to that. And just like what Gary said, we will be communicating so that your parents and guests would say, oh, they tore my toilet, and realize they still got toilets down the hall, all right? Mm-hmm. All right. Also, with this, there is an action item that we need to talk about, and that's a change order number 2, and you will be discussing that later. Okay. And that's to get temporary heat in the middle school and the high school. All right. And also on on Cypress Elementary re-roofing. You know, we've gotten a lot of rain, but all the equipment is on site, okay, as far as what we need. So we're hoping to start tearing off on next Monday, okay? So if we still need dry, all right? Any questions?
That's it.
That's it.
We told you it was gonna be a busy year and a half, and it's,
So the big units at the high school and middle school that are how many weeks out from getting?
Okay, are you talking about for the one for your change order or for,
I'm talking
for
about,
the the temporary heating?
no,
No, it's the three.
No.
that's
Three
HVAC replacement.
HVAC.
Oh, for ESER three, those have just been ordered, so we don't have a date on the delivery for that yet.
but they were saying at least 28 weeks, right?
Yes, okay, so what we're having, the industry is going where I'm gonna just start back. When the administration put all this money out, the manufacturer was overwhelmed, all right? Nationally. And right now, we have had delays, we've getting calls, and it's not just on HVAC, it's on electrical too. We have projects right now where we have the panels up, but we don't have the guts, all right? And it's sad, but we got all the equipment in. And some of the, HVAC, some of the parts just coming from China. And now China done flew a balloon over here with my name.
Charles, will you get control of it?
On a serious note, we're working on it and we're gonna keep you abreast of what's going on, okay?
The contractors are pushing as hard as they can, believe me, they wanna get paid, so it's a manufacturing problem, and we're staying on top of it.
Right?
Remember, you got a whole other year to complete the SO3 project.
Yes.
We don't wanna take that long, but contractually they do.
They do, and we're on it, okay?
Any questions?
Thank you.
Thank you very
We'll
much.
see you next week.
All right.
Thank you. Have a good evening.
Yeah.
Y'all too.
We've heard the cabinet updates. Are there any questions for anyone with that? If not, can I get a motion to accept?
I so moved.
Second?
Second.
It's been, a motion was made by Lucille Holmes, seconded by George Evans to approve the cabinet updates. All in favor? Any nays? Ayes have it, motion carried. Approval of consent agenda. Are there any questions regarding any items on the consent agenda?
I make a motion to approve.
Can I get a second?
I second.
Been moved by Richard Boggs, second by Lucille Holmes to approve the consent agenda. All in favor? Any opposed? Ayes have it, the motion carried. All right. Set time and date for the next board meeting. Proposed date is March 23rd at 6 p.m.
Why is it so late tomorrow?
Spring break.
March 7 through the 20. That's good. 11, that's gonna mess us up on our bill paying, isn't it? Our bills are due by the 10th, aren't they? Or around the 10th,
Like my utilities?
or heating,
No, not necessarily. Of course, with our invoices, we have 45 days to pay those invoices after we receive them, but our utilities can be paid outside of the board docket. If they're contractual, it's part of our board policy that we can pay our utilities outside of board meetings. So we were gonna pay those on the prepaid Friday dockets that we do for security officials and game officials.
as long as it don't mess us up. I mean, I know, we've had to have murder before spring break.
Dr. Bermucci, came to me before we set the date and asked if that would interfere with any bill paying. And that was a solution we came up with to include the utilities on that Friday document and then bring it before you on the 23rd.
I make a motion to approve.
Can I get a second?
I second.
It's been moved by Richard Boggs, seconded by Lucille Holmes to approve the next board meeting for March 23rd at 6 p.m. All in favor? Any opposed? Ayes have it, the motion carries. Number 5, approval of combining and combined FY 23 amended budget. Ms. Cody,
Yes, ma'am. I think you guys can pull the amended budget up.
I'd like to apologize for this afternoon, just cutting you short there.
Oh, it's fine.
Yes, myself come up, so.
No problem at all. I'll try to be brief.
what you have before you is the amended budget. You approved an original budget, earlier this fiscal year. And we took the time this month to meet with the principals and department heads to kind of figure out if that original budget still aligned with their needs. And we found some, of course, some issues, and we made some changes to the budget. And tonight I want to talk about the big ticket items of the changes that we made. Not included in this form, Mr. Bailey talked about it, the Cypress Park roofing, $677,000 is included in this budget out of district cost for the roofing project at Cypress. We also aligned the payroll budget with the current salaries and benefits for each employee in the district. So we took each school, aligned the budget back to the current salaries and benefits to make sure it's included in the budget. We found some issues, but they were taken care of. We also increased the district's operating budget in 2620, which is our building service funds, to include tree removal at each location, parking lot maintenance at each school, abatement services for removal of floors at the middle school and the high school cafeterias for their upcoming projects, the floor installation for Cleveland Middle School and Cleveland High School cafeterias as well. And included in the project is a lighting project that their project can't pay for, so the entire electrical upgrade is also included in that.
Where is that reflected in that new budget?
In Fund 2620 under your support services, so the amended budget comes combined, so you won't see it itemized per se, but if you take a look at the 1120 district maintenance, you can see your total amount of revenues there and your total amount of expenditures, and the difference between those two would be your excess deficiency over revenues or under. So in this case, we're 1.6 million over our revenue. So could possibly dip into fund balance by 1.6 million if every dollar in this budget is spent, which no district spends every dollar in their budget. But in the event that we do, we're going 1.6 million in fund balance to cover some of these costs. And that's just for this fiscal year, which ends in June 30th, 2023.
So after this year, we need to really take a hard look on what we do. You can't keep going $1 million into you.
We got a better plan, based on our revenues. We gotta talk about some ways to cut our operation costs.
And our needs.
But we do have a healthy fund balance, which
We do,
helps us a lot.
you know.
But if we keep dipping 1.7 million, we won't have it, it won't
You'll
stay
be
healthy
down,
long.
you'll be down the minimum in no time.
2 years.
We just as a board need to, I know you're aware of that, you've been in districts a lot worse off shape than what we are.
But remember, your tax dollars are coming. They're coming right now.
Which is estimated revenue inside this budget. So we estimated the amount of revenue, ad valorem revenue we received. So it's included in this. So we're expecting $22.9 million this year, and we're spending 24.5 if every dollar is spent. But historically, we have not spent every dollar in our budget. So
But you'll
hopefully,
be up in fuel and electricity and stuff like that, probably, you'll be, but we don't know what those prices are gonna be, one month to the next.
right.
And, we should be through the highest months as far as electricity and gas and stuff like that, should be. But your fuel's gonna be the same.
That's true.
Let's just hope eggs don't get to be higher than a gallon of gas. But I think they're already there. I'm rubbing eggs.
I move to approve combined FY 23 amended budget.
She wasn't finished.
Oh,
I mean, I'll
You
stop.
wasn't finished?
I'll stop. I just want to make sure you're aware of the big ticket items.
I thought you
We
said.
also be purchasing 2 school buses, one for special services and one for the general routes. So they're in need of 2 school buses for this year, so that's
but
included in the
that's
budget.
in that $1 million that
Yes.
we're going.
Yes, and we increased the budget sufficient enough to cover the rising cost of substitutes through Kelly Services. So we had to up the budget there. And then also on this inside of this amended budget, I'm asking for approval to dissolve the Children's Defense Fund. It was about $374 left in that fund that's been sitting on the books for some years. And I'm asking approval to dissolve that fund and move it into district maintenance.
Do you need a separate,
It's a part of the amended
or is that in the budget?
It's-
Mr. President? To eliminate that fund, that we need separate items to do that, or?
I would say for all the purposes that you probably do,
So we need to add it.
because it was a
We'll
fund,
just do it same.
even though it doesn't exist anymore, do it separate.
And it was another one on there also, wasn't it?
That was a forestry escrow fund, but I have to seek approval from the forestry escrow before I can bring it before you. So everything gotta be approved between them, so I have not solicited approval from them yet. So it'll be forthcoming.
A question, how much do we pay Kelly Services?
So last year, what was it, $286,000 we spent with them last year.
Why?
Substitute.
No, I know that. Why? There was a time when we didn't have Kelly Services, and the principals just.
Secretary Cole.
Uh-huh.
So-
Yes, I mean, that's almost $300,000. Is that really an expenditure that the district needs, is what I'm asking?
We, go ahead, she's looking at it.
Well, there were so many principals and I saw movement of heads.
So in our planning meetings, that was a discussion. We had some, I'm trying to remember who it was. Somebody had not used them all year.
Ms. Ribbon.
Ms. Ray. And that's not why she got administrative.
It is.
No,
Well, I mean, that.
but, we talked about the possibility of hiring people to be floating subs that were our people that we retained, that on days that we didn't need a sub, we're throwing out different ideas instead of spending that kind of money. It is a lot of money. It is a lot of money. But you also have to cover classes. In some places, like the high school, they don't have a lot of assistant teachers that could cover classes, and, so you gotta, we're batting ideas around. And it's not even spring yet.
There was a reason we went to Kelly Services at some point, and I can't remember exactly what it
Unemployment
was.
claim.
What?
Unemployment claims.
Unemployment claims, that's right. Exactly right.
That's why we were thinking about hiring them as our own.
And, because if they work so many days, they can get unemployment. So, I mean, that was the reason. I couldn't remember exactly.
And it also made it better because they did all the background checks, they did all the hiring, and it was just.
But you had to pay for it.
Oh, yeah.
It cost you money.
You know, when you're.
Cost you money.
Private, you have to cut back.
We're working on something.
Yep.
It's not really talked about yet.
Yes, sir.
And that's all that I have as it relates to the amended budget.
Thank you, Ms. Pulley. Are there any other questions regarding the amended budget? Not, can I get a motion?
So moved.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Been moved by George Evans, seconded by Richard Rogers to approve the amended budget. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it, the motion carries.
Also, in that, I'd like to make a motion to, dissolve the
Children's Defense Fund.
Children's Defense Fund.
Children's Fest, 3711.
That would be, we would add that as an agenda item. I know we're good in our agenda.
5A.
5A. Ms. Bell?
I'm going it.
5A would be removal of the Children's Defense Fund. I make that motion.
Can I get a second?
I'll second.
Been moved by Richard Rogers, seconded by George Evans to approve the removal of the Child Defense Fund. All in favor? Opposed?
Make sure that's in the minutes.
Ayes have it.
You made it as 5A.
Motion carried. What was that amount again, Ms. Pulley, on there?
Ma'am,
What was that amount?
$374.65.
Please put that into the motion.
In a minute.
In a minute.
All right. Approval of the claims docket. Ms. Pulley, you're up again.
You on the hot seat, page 17.
Page 17, let's go.
Now, I'm going by the number at the bottom of the page.
I'm looking for it.
Okay.
All right, so I'm on, let's see, let me get out there, you quick, I am. 17 is, all right, so,
Say the claim number.
oh,
Left in the gray box.
426774.
77.
So Parks Elementary storm renovations, that is, what we got left on that? I thought we closed that out.
No,
$2,824.84.
that was for the gifted classroom, I'm not.
Is that furniture for them, or it doesn't say, this is storm renovation?
Yeah, it's be some supply.
Top of 17.
You got a PO number?
He was from school special.
Field number?
That was probably the remainder of the
224086.
supplies for the gifted classroom. We had to get the bookshelves for the gifted classroom, but all of that should be it.
Cause if you look at, I wanna say where it say purpose, right above it say purpose, parts,
Yeah.
gifted classroom, so.
Here it is right here.
Mm-hmm.
$2,824.84.
Yes. So you got your entry kit, your map, you got a table, a rectangle table, building sets, supplies, file cabinets.
Okay, that was part of the renovation, and I see that's coming out of,
Yeah, so you had
Renovations.
it come out of,
your contents.
it come out of activity fund, right? No.
No, 3920 is the fund that was set up for the park renovation. So they reimbursed us for the property damage as well as the contents.
Okay.
So items like this, they're using the contents reimbursement.
This the classroom right next to the library, it's built onto that building, you know, you have a library, you have a classroom, this that gifted classroom right this side.
That was added, wasn't it? Was it not? It wasn't there before.
Well, it was all part of that one building. Previously, it was partitioned.
Oh.
So now there's a wall. When they
Gotcha.
added it back, we got a wall.
Yeah.
All right,
I remember that.
claim number 426778, same page 17, athletic student activity fund, $1,000,
I remember that.
armory rental. What was that for?
That was for high school, I believe.
So,
Was it the archery?
what-
No,
what-
it's the
what-
archery.
Armory for?
Archery.
Archery?
Yeah.
Is that for us to practice at, or
Yes.
what is that?
That's practice for
Practice?
archery club.
Is that for the year, is that per day?
That covers them for the rest of their season, for them to go practice.
So like a podol ought to be good for that.
Baseball and softball are in there right now.
Should have tore the old gym down, sure. Oh, page 19. I ain't been completed that, because I'm gonna ask you about it.
Okay.
Page 19. Bailey. Of course, we see that huge amounts of money. And I assume this is who is getting charged, that's what it's getting charged, that's,
Yes, all of it is title fund, so this should be reimbursed.
and, I would like to ask, is the district preparing us at the end of this year, conclusion of test scores, some type of report for the board of money spent versus test scores, or school improvement? We've been asking for this for several years, am I correct, board members?
So basically, a return on investment, are we getting a return on what we're spending?
Of course, that's gotta come probably more from the educational side than the business side, that you can let them know what kind of money you spend in the classroom. And, I would like to think that we could get that when we have our meeting for, well, our data, after test scores are released, the data meeting.
Next
August, July, late July, early August, something like that. I mean, is that
Yeah.
realistic.
Well, you know how much money each school spent.
Sure.
Yeah, we'll know that.
We have to see,
Yeah.
we have to see what the
Feedback from teachers, principals at that time, because, you know, we'll be approving money for them in July,
Right.
before we get test scores back.
But, we could do as we did last year, you know, the principals did ask for that approval because they had started their planning.
Right.
So we approved through December,
December.
and that allowed the time for them to get the test scores back
But,
and to provide
but I would
information.
like to have something, I think the all board, and I think everybody needs to know, what are we getting for our money?
Right.
Are we getting, is it where it needs to be? If it's not, then we need to relook at it. Oh, and page 24. Structures, huge amount of money. I know you're gonna tell us to come out of extra money, but
We gotta be good stewards.
That's, pay out
Oh.
19, construction. Yeah.
did I get the right page number?
Yeah, that's
Oh,
what
yeah,
you-
400, yeah.
Yeah, that's our ESER two project.
$547,048. We've got the work has been completed, the equipment, everything's good.
Yes.
So,
You're recommending for us to pay it.
yes, we have taken a look at the pay applications, gone through the work completed on the pay app, make sure that that work has been done. We meet with them monthly on progress, we get progress reports, to make sure the work is being completed before we pay them anything.
That's my question.
So we have all the payroll of who they paid, who, their labor costs, all of that. So in any event that you all wanna see it, we have it.
We don't have to see it.
Okay.
The man's gotta see it when he's going. The auditor.
Right,
I'm just making sure you got it.
we do.
That's all I got.
Does anyone else have any questions regarding the claims docket? If not, can I get a motion?
But let me say something first. I like the format of the new, what did y'all think, Lucille? Did you like it better?
a whole lot.
I mean, it's getting better. We're not quite there. I don't know what else we can do, but
I have one more report, but it's
Let's
not
go
gonna
with this
give
for a
you the
little while.
description of what the fund means. That's the only thing.
no,
about
I kinda like the way this broke down.
This is
We
self-explanatory.
know who we paying. I didn't know who we were paying before.
Right.
it. Okay,
And out of what monies? Oh, so let's go with this for a little while, that we got questions.
Just format.
okay.
Thank you for that.
You're
Go ahead.
I move with approve.
Can I get a second?
Second.
It has been moved by George Evans, seconded by, Richard Bobs to approve the docket. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it, motion carried. Approval of national financial services contract with the CSD Business Department paid through district funds. Ms. Brooks.
Me again. I am asking you all to approve a contract between Mansfield Financial Services and Cleveland School District to help us prepare for our FY 24 budget planning, as well as close our books for FY 23. I did not prepare these books. I'm gonna need some assistance on, I don't know what's gonna come out. Every day I'm finding something different, something new, and I just need some support. For that, I spoke with Ms. Holt. She said, I don't wanna do it. So, she said, please, find somebody else.
And this is who you're comfortable with?
Yes,
Did they didn't give you any, you're asking us to prove something, I don't see any money, where y'all see the money?
Yes, 158 per hour.
Per hour.
and I,
How long do you think you'll need them?
so, of course, Stetson Mill is October 15th, so I'll need that support through October 15th, but it's not gonna be a huge cost at all, it's only as needed.
So you think 5,000?
Not sure if that's sufficient through October.
All right,
So
well,
you have to do it again? 'Cause
let's approve $5,000.
And
Okay,
then you come back.
And then if you get close to that, you come back.
Go over, come back to this. It's
Okay.
more than that. You come
okay.
back to it.
I was gonna say, cause I have to have a second quote, anything above 10. So you just wanna do,
Let's do 5.
okay, $5.
Because that's who you want, they're familiar with you, aren't they?
Yes,
And you're
and I'm familiar
them.
with them, and that helped me. in the
Everybody
past.
else, that kind of,
Sound good?
Make a motion.
I make the motion to approve Masco financial service contract for $5,000 through the month of, I'm gonna put a month there, October, but if you get close, come back and we'll need it.
Okay.
I'll second.
Has been moved by Richard Bach, seconded by George Evans to approve Masco financial services contract, for $5,000 through October. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion carried. Approval for special services to enter into contractual agreement with Mississippi Department of Vocational Rehabilitation to provide services with disabilities transition from secondary school to subsequent environments at no cost to the district. Did she?
Why does it say special service to enter into a contract agreement, not Cleveland School District to enter into a contract?
It's her STEM students.
It's their
It's something they do every year, transition, and she was here, but she had to leave, so I honestly, it's no
I just got
cost.
a problem with the wording, it just
Yeah.
struck me as, why is special services and not the Cleveland School District to enter into a contract agreement? They can't.
The MOU is actually listed with the Cleveland School District. It may just be worded on y'all's agenda and that way, because I looked at the MOU, and the MOU is with the school district.
Okay.
Yeah, and there's no cost.
I just found that kind of strange.
So as for the wording of special services to actually enter the contract, it couldn't be them. It would have to be the Cleveland School District.
Okay. So in the minutes, it'll reflect what the MOU said.
Oh,
Any other questions regarding that
Yes.
request?
I'm gonna actually make the motion the correct way, if that's okay. Make a motion to approve Cleveland School District to enter into a contractual agreement with Mississippi Department of Vocational
Rehabilitation.
Can I get a second?
Second.
It's been moved by Richard Bach, seconded by Lucille Holmes to approve CSD to enter into a contractual agreement with Mississippi Department of Vocational Rehabilitation. All in favor? Any,
Go ahead,
any opposed? Ayes have it, the motion carried.
you got that correct, okay.
Approval to rescind policy JHA.
At our first, I shouldn't say last, PTO president meeting, they, talked to us about this policy and how it limited them to 3 fundraisers a year. And if they're a booster club or PTO fundraisers, we shouldn't be limiting them because some of them have their own 501c3s. So I'm just asking to, rescind this policy.
And I agree with you too, with your statement there, but, one of the things that and I don't know how to word that in here, is equipment and stuff that is bought for kids. We need to kind of address in here, Arnold, whose property that is. In other words, I know it says in here about you can't use the school tax ID. Does it say anything about, because that stuff needs it needs an inventory tag. And it says concession to do shall become the sole property, must have a purpose consent with the district on the district require the endorsement of particular bid on. So, I guess what I'm
It should
saying.
become our property, when they should donate it to us and get approved.
Right, that's, but it's not in here.
Well, she's asking, keep in mind, she's asking to rescind this whole
Rescind
policy.
that, but we need to come back.
So we'll come back.
My guess is that she's gonna come back with something else. This,
There's
but
some parts
revised.
of it that we need to keep.
Because you really need something, but her initial address is,
That's
where to go, the 3 fundraisers or whatever, and
Something
something
there
like
about
the
donations. because
fixed
it's-
assets or something. So she's gonna have to come back to y'all with a revised.
But there again, we have to make sure they follow purchasing procedures correctly.
Only when the funds are commingled with our public funds.
You,
Right.
that's the
They're going to-
separation of it.
they're
When
going
you
to
say,
knock on
when you say, I wanna make sure they do something, you
They
can't.
can't.
You're not them.
Because we don't co-mingle.
Their dollars don't touch our dollars. They're not subjected to our procurement law.
Okay, well, good, good.
But if they buy something and give it to
But
the
they need-
school, then it becomes our property and we
Need
got
to
to
have
tax.
And the
inventory
board
tax.
should accept it as a donation.
Correct, correct. There's a procedure for doing that,
That's why,
because you don't want the football coach to leave with the lawnmower,
yeah,
because there's no tax on the game.
or the gator.
Alligator.
I ain't signed it, you.
Don't y'all get me upset.
Is the next one?
All right.
Go ahead, excuse me, go ahead.
And this just me asking, so did they donate, did they come before the board and have it donated to where we accepted it as a donation for the district?
We don't.
I don't know in the past if that happened.
Okay.
I encouraged it to happen so that the inventory tag would go on it, and then we're responsible for it. The school is responsible for it. Then, you know, but that's the way it needs to go. So, I make
That's
the
why
motion to
it needs to be
rescind
rescinded and
the policy
just rescind it, come back
JHA.
to something
I
different.
second.
It's easy.
Has been moved by Richard Bach, seconded by George Evans to rescind policy JHA. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it, the motion carried. Approval for Cleveland School District to enter into a partnership with Teach for America for fees to pay for the teachers.
When you have a Teach for America teacher, you have money you have to pay them, and that's what this is. And we have a Teach for America teacher, and this is the money.
Now, assume it's the same agreement we've had in the past.
Yes.
Move with approve.
Can I get a second?
Oh, I see. Go ahead.
It has been moved by George Evans, seconded by Lucille Holmes, to approve CSD to, enter into the partnership with Teach for America. All in favor? Opposed? Ayes have it, the motion carries. Approval for Cleveland School District to apply for multi-year K-3 literacy support, summer reading camps in the amount of $50,000.
So it's 50,000 per year.
It's a multi-year, right? So we've applied for 100 students at D.N. Smith to be served in grades 3 and 4. So we don't know if we've got it yet, but we have submitted.
It's gonna be a grant.
Yes, sir.
Move with approve.
Can I get a second? Did you all have any questions? Can I get a second?
I see.
It's been moved by George Evans, seconded by Lucille Holmes, to approve the, request to apply for the grant. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it, motion carried. Approval for disposal of fixed assets, number 3834 Old School Bus.
That's an old school bus located on campus of Naval.
It used to, that's not the one that used to be the library?
No, it's like a reading they did.
I think, Lucille, I think years and years ago, so
That's the one,
reading
the
thing.
one we donated to Mr. Fisher. It was supposed to be a reading initiative, so to take the kids on the bus and read, like get them out of the library, but they could still read, so the bus was converted to a classroom. It was some kind of reading initiative back in 2003.
It's not being used now?
No, it's.
I don't know.
It's an eyesore.
So it's a habit too.
Move with approve.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Been moved by George Evans, seconded by Richard Ross, to approve the disposal of the old school bus. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it, the motion carried. Approved for CSD to enter into an agreement with Sunflower Consolidated School District to place a server at their campus as an off-site backup area at no cost.
This is for, to, if we're hit by an attack or something, we'll have offsite of our data and we can get the district back up quicker. And the reason we're putting it in an offsite is insurance, the cyber insurance, they usually want it not in the same area, because if we got hit by a tornado. So I've talked with the technology coordinator over at Sunflower Consolidated Schools, and they agreed, and he said as long as they could put one here,
and we're just gonna be working together. And we bought a new server, and my guys are working, and we're gonna back it up. We're gonna back up at DM Smith like we always have, but we're putting a separate copy of that data will be on the server at Sunflower. And at night, the backups will run at like 2:30 in the morning. So we won't be using, when they back up, we won't be using any of our bandwidth or anything like that. But it's just gonna help us if we happen to get hit.
I move we approve.
Let's go, turn the tornado out there now.
You better hurry up.
I know.
It has been moved by George Evans, seconded by Richard Bobs to approve CSD to enter an agreement with Sunflower Consolidated School District regarding the server. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it, the motion carried. Approval to accept the proposed change order number 3 with Sullivan Enterprises to remove 5 duct-mounted inline hot water coils and replace with sheet metal ductwork at the high school through ESSER 3 project with district funds.
Got to get the heat on, Paul.
Is that, Mr. Jones?
That's a raise, right?
Oh, you can hear.
That's the gym is still set up, some parts of the gym is still set up on the old system, the boiler system, which we don't use now. So we taking the coils out while the air can start flowing like it's supposed to on the new unit, because it's still hooked up on the old boiler system, which is not in use right now.
So in other words, that's gonna cost some money to get the old coils out.
Yes, sir.
And how much is it?
Total is total 17,594.
17,500.
Are they copper?
I think so. I'm not, I didn't verify, but I think so.
What's involved in removing the
The cord is running through the ductwork now, so you have to cut the water off, cut the cord out of there, and sheet metal it back together where the cord was in place.
And what school is this? Is this one school?
This is at the gym, at the high school.
High school.
And see, that area, one of them feeds the nursing station, and the other ones feed the concession stand and the classrooms on top of the stage.
Move we approve.
Second.
Been moved by George Evans, seconded by Richard Bobs to approve the request for the proposed change order number 3 with Sullivan Enterprises. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it, the motion carries. Approval to accept the proposed change order number 4 with Sullivan Enterprises to add temporary heat to the gymnasium at CCMS and the high school through ESSER 3 project.
That's the one that I called y'all about when we were having our OAC meeting and got a yes from all of you to go ahead and move forward to put the hanging heaters so that in the event that we ever have heat again over there, if it goes out, we'll have a backup. Yes.
Move we approve.
Second.
It's been moved by George Evans, seconded by Richard Bobs to approve the, to accept the proposed change order number 4 with Sullivan Enterprises for temporary heat. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it, motion carried. Approval to change inclement weather day, February 13th to February 10th.
Right, and that's, we voted and polled and came up with the change, so.
Move we approve.
Thank you.
Second.
It's been moved by George Evans, seconded by Richard Bobs to approve the makeup day. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it, the motion carried. Approval for CTE to apply for My Status in School and Out of School Youth Programs Grant. Ms. Jackson?
Yes, ma'am.
Sorry.
Yes, we were given the opportunity to apply for the My State grant with the South Delta youth program. This grant has been used in other districts to improve CTE offerings and workforce development offerings for high school students. Our plan is, at this moment, is to improve offerings for our CTE department and also for our seniors getting ready to leave. This grant ranges from $450,000 to $2.1 million. We looked at things such as, for our seniors, Ms. Johnson and I talked about possibly CDL permit, pharmacy tech, linemen, different things like that, that students would be able to go in, whether they're in school or they do it through their summer program. And that's something that we will work out between Mississippi Delta and Kahoma Community College in their workforce development areas.
And they will come out school certified in these areas?
Yes, ma'am. It depends on when they would actually go for some of them. Some of the programs that we looked at were short-term programs. So things like fiber optics is 5 weeks. They just have to meet the age requirement, of course, to be able to go into the program, but we would be able to pay for those things for our students. Other things we looked at, of course, is, as I said, enhancing our current CTE offerings. So things like equipment, being able to provide incentives and things of that nature for our students. Also for our work-based learning, that is a big portion of what they would like us to do, is increase the number of students that are working inside of businesses. Kind of like the grant we already received with the governor's discretionary grant, where we would be able to work in tandem and partnership with some of the places in the area that will provide our students an opportunity to get work experience, but we're paying half, they're paying half, or we're paying the entire cost for them to do apprenticeships and internships.
I move.
Can I get a second?
Second.
It's been moved by Lucia Holmes, seconded by Richard Boggs to approve, CT to apply for the My Status in School grant. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it, the motion carries. Approval to consider the high CCHS to transition from traditional 7-period day to 4x4 block schedule for 2023-2024 school year. Ms. Johnson?
I so move. All right.
This is what everybody wants now.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's beneficial to the students, and it's gonna improve your ADA.
Do you want to?
Do you wanna present, girl? But
You done presented it one time.
Over at that table, that's what y'all want, because we're gonna live with it now. Look around, everybody's nodding their head.
I was told you wanted to go to the 7-period day, was that not so?
No, ma'am.
Okay,
Not
good
at all.
with that, then. I so move that we go to a 4x4.
Okay, it's been moved by Lucia Holmes, seconded by George Evans to return to 4x4. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries. Approval of the 2022-23 Human Capital Strategic Plan.
So, when this, email came out the other day, you have 2 options. We had about, I guess it was 4 people that were listed with, license that I couldn't do an edit to fix all the areas. So this is the last year that the district will be able to use the human capital report to get us past, so we won't be on probation. So that's all that is. Does that make sense? Mr. Johnson, did I say it right?
Yeah, in order to not get deemed for your accreditation status as it relates to the person that is, the 2 options were either you clear them all, or you submit a strategic plan of how you gonna fulfill those positions for the next year.
So we created our plan, this is the 2nd year. Because we could do almost all of them, but we couldn't. Clear
It
them
wasn't
all.
a lot,
It wasn't a lot at all.
Move we approve.
Can I get a second? It has been moved by George Evans, seconded by Lucia Holmes to approve the 22-23 Human Capital Strategic Plan. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it, motion carried. Approval for food services to advertise for cafeteria designs bid for, CCHS and CCMS.
What they gonna do, redesign the cafeteria?
Yeah, we're proposing
You
to
want-
advertise.
You want me to go ahead and show it? Okay.
For the cafeteria design.
This is the
and
high
furniture.
school.
Wait a minute.
And then a second bid, just for the serving lines and equipment for that.
That's the high school.
Will they have hot and cold
Yes.
options?
Yeah.
In both schools, live
Yeah.
right now?
Yes, ma'am.
This is the other one.
Looks nice.
This is the.
So we're proposing
9th and
to
10th.
advertise on February 22nd and also March the 1st in the newspaper. In order to receive bids and hopefully, we'll be opening them on March the 3rd. So we'll have it to you all in time for you to look over everything before the next board meeting if we receive proper response from that.
Or we could end up, I know we don't know how much it's gonna cost.
That's a
Or
lot
it's
of
gonna
money.
have, that's gonna be a lot of money.
Yeah.
How about, did you say advertising when?
On the 22nd and on the 1st of March.
So,
22nd,
With an expectation of a bid by March the 8th?
March 3rd.
Got to be.
That's pretty quick.
That's pretty quick.
You got somebody in mind though?
Well, let's leave.
No, ma'am, of course.
Oh, yeah.
I think you're right, I think leave it on 30 days.
That's just not enough
It's up to you all.
time. I'm just standing back on my normal bids for anything that we do. You gotta have at least, 3 or 4 weeks to put
So we can
together
push it back.
something.
We
Because
can
somebody's
push it
gotta
back.
get it, and then somebody's gotta give them time to price it, to build it.
If you all will agree to approve to, advertise on the 22nd and on the 1st, then we can push back the date to open.
You trying to
In
get that done
accordance to
by,
whatever.
you trying to get this done by starting next school?
Yes,
term?
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
But I guess my question leads up to it was, are we gonna have, is this gonna come out of district maintenance, or we gonna have enough money?
The amended budget that you approved tonight included the electrical upgrade, the abatement services, and the floors. She can't pay for that out of food service fund, but she does have a healthy fund balance to
Right,
support the renovation.
right, that was my question. If you could do improvements like that out of food services,
Yes. So
I
it-
guess.
Yeah, everything but the flooring, the
Abatement.
electrical, and the abatement of the flooring. So everything else she's able to purchase out of food service. But the district will do the flooring, the light, and the abatement.
Let me ask this question. When we start this, construction and tearing out and, have we gotten rid of all the asbestos in this?
That's
what
the
the
abatement.
abatement-
That's the
That's
abatement.
that, baby, gonna get rid of all of it.
That has to be done first.
It's cafeteria.
Lucille,
It was in the sentence that he said.
every time we get ready to do something, there's more asbestos.
So we have to pay for
That's
that.
all building.
Oh,
That's why I tell y'all, all that kind of money, you put that in your bill.
I make the motion to approve.
Make it a second.
We do that.
I second.
And it's been moved by Richard Box, seconded by George Evans to approve the cafeteria renovation, no, let me go back.
To bid.
To approve advertisement, for cafeteria design bid. All in favor? Opposed? Ayes have it, motion carried.
Okay,
Approval for approved service to advertise for serving lines and equipment bid.
I make the motion to approve.
Second.
It has been moved by Richard Box, seconded by George Evans to approve food services to advertise for serving lines and equipment bid. All in favor? Opposed? Ayes have it, motion carried. Approval of agreement between CSD and LMS Corporation for land management services not to exceed $7,000.
What is
Is
that?
that,
That's
Mr.
16th section.
Oh,
No, that's 16th section.
Is that up there, Big River?
No. This is for help our
This is for
16th
16th section.
person.
Did you see the email I sent y'all?
We received some correspondence from the Office of State Auditors that we need to discuss, and this is as a result of that.
What they're trying to do is put together like a good database of the 16th section land. So each time we have a lease, or we have a out, or an in, or something, we don't have to run the full gamut of paperwork, whose is it, whose was it, whatever. We can unify everything into a central database and go, it was Lucille's on so-and-so date, at so-and-so time, at so-and-so. Ms. Lucille sold it to Ms. Housey, and so-and-so. So you'll have a central database, an electrical, searchable database of 16th section land for the whole county. limited to $7,000. LMS Corporation is the group that comes in and helps do this, and they've done this for other counties. And school, the counties and schools.
And county that's it.
Move approved. Have you worked with this group before?
Yes, excellent.
And you like their success and?
Yes, this company will come in and do a full assessment of where we are on all of our leases, poll the courthouse, pull all of our leases, create electronic database where we can search, just like, Ms. Luciano said. So I think it's something that this means, I can't go pull up a lease in our county somewhere. I can't search it electronically. I have to go physically pull leases. We need something that's gonna alert us when a lease is about to expire. When we're approaching the year for the land use survey. You know, it's just those types of things that the system can do, but it gotta be set up.
And by the way, it's not just a document search. I mean, some of you might know the history of the 16th section, Department of Education and stuff like that. Quick history, 1972, 1973, the Cleveland School District at that time revoked every 16th section lease in the county and then re-upped around 1972, 73 and entered into a ton of 99-year leases. That's where you currently sit. Now, I would say about 70% of those are still active. So if somebody said, go pull that lease, there are 3 books in the Chantry Courthouse that you have to search through and go, where is that lease? The bigger problem with that is you had about probably 20 landowners that own a lot of them, but since they've been cut out into smaller pieces. So you don't know where that lease came out of this family or not. This company will come in and make this a whole lot more simple.
All right.
Any other questions regarding?
Did we vote on
Okay, no, that motion died, you can make a
the motion back?
Because we started talking.
Sorry.
I'll make another then.
Found?
And I'll second again, y'all.
All right.
Damn. Talk about it.
Yes, sir. It has been moved by George Evans, seconded by Richard Boggs to approve, the agreement between CSD and LMS Corporation for Land Management Services. All in favor? Opposed? Ayes have it, motion carried. Approval of personnel agenda.
Madam President, I would like to remove from the agenda, take the executive session, resignations, retirements, employee recommendations, employee change of status. The rest of it we can vote on in general session. And, those 3 sections to be removed.
What are they again?
Which one do you want to talk about?
We're not gonna call.
Pay scale?
Hold on. Let me get the motion correct. Resignations, employee recommendations, and employee change of status.
Didn't they add from?
And then, oh yes, and pull off the, administrator renewals and central office recommendations also. The rest of it can be voted on, pay scale. Oh, yeah. And let me go back to the original one.
You take it all off.
Well,
Just vote on everything else. What we didn't take on.
approval to request position of social worker year up. So your base is voting on pay scale.
So moved.
Was there a motion?
I made that motion.
Second.
It has been moved by Richard Boggs, seconded by George Evans to approve the pay scale, moving the remainder of the personnel agenda to executive session. All in favor? Opposed? Ayes have it, motion carried. Removal from table and approval of data sharing usage agreement between CSD and South Delta Planning and Development District.
Are you good with that?
You good with it?
I'll make the motion to approve.
Need a second?
Second.
Been moved by Richard Boggs, seconded by George Evans to approve from table and approval of data sharing usage agreement between CSD and South Delta Planning. All in favor? Opposed? Ayes have it, motion carried. Remove from table and approval of policy GCRAA, fair labor standards policy.
I don't know, you got something, can you explain that to us again? You
Well,
weren't
that's
here,
that
you weren't here last week.
I wasn't here last time, and this is the one, it's just, that it was the overtime question, that has been lingering for a while, and we didn't have what I would call the proper, what's the best way to change? So in your policy, you had a situation where somebody could get overtime, but then it wasn't clear, because the board normally had a policy that said, we're not going overtime. You're not gonna get paid. Then there's also the statute that says only certain people can get overtime in the first place. So it's really what I would call a remove from table and approval of the GCRAA Fair Labor Standards Policy to be more clear, to comply with state law about y'all's normal, what I would call procedural requests, that you don't get overtime, you get comp time, and that B, they need to follow the chain. So like if somebody at Parks says, I do have an issue, then they go to the Parks principal. The Parks principal can't get that fixed. He goes here. If they can't get that fixed here, then it goes to y'all. That normally wasn't in this policy in the first place.
You gonna put all that in the motion?
I will.
It's in here.
I mean, it's in here, but
Or
really the more work that needs to be done is y'all's approval to do that. To modify your fair labor standards policy, A, to comply with law, but B, to reflect y'all's desire that it start at the local level, then come up to y'all. But with the understanding that the more requested policy procedure would be, there is no overtime, it's comp time.
So the policy's gonna change,
The policy's gonna change,
so you're gonna table it again.
because it's not ready for what I would call your approval.
Can I get a motion to
But
table?
if that's what y'all want me to do, then that's what I will do and bring it to y'all next time.
That sounds
We tabled it because we didn't know what we
weren't
needed.
I'll fix it.
Motion table.
Tabled and fixed for the
It
February,
has been
March
moved by
meeting.
Richard Rock, seconded by George Evans, to table policy GCRAA, fair labor standards. All in favor? Opposed? Ayes have it, motion carried. Can I get a motion to?
I so move. We're going to executive session?
Yes, ma'am. It has been moved by Lucia Holmes, seconded by George Evans, to consider executive session. All in favor? Opposed? Ayes have it, motion carried. We will be going to executive session for the items listed: student misconduct, superintendent evaluation, legal matters, personnel agenda, and audit updates.
I'll make a motion
Going to executive session,
to stated reasons.
It's been moved by Richard Fox, seconded by George Evans, to go into executive session. All in favor? Opposed? Ayes have it, motion.
Did everybody sign the book?
No.
Damn, shelter in place! I see what y'all gonna do.
That's a balloon from China being shot down.
Somebody reach for the gun. I dropped my damn gun. I thought to do it in the middle.
Rude. Who gets it?
I got a text, tell Denise it's still live.
I'm the city
Watch
attorney
that
over there,
door,
and they moved, they said, we're gonna go start at 5:30, y'all. And I said,
She called and said we're still live.
okay, we got there at 5:30.